Captain, you're needed on the bridge.
I'm alone. Alone. I'm losing command.
You're not alone, Captain, but we seem to be entering some sort of anomaly. We've tried analyzing the data using our sensors, and we believe we're entering a cosmic sea of bullshit. The source is unknown at the moment, but we believe it might be originating from religion, sir. More specifically, their bad analogies.
What about the Satan? People go to wrong ways and endless hell because of him. He threatens our eternal lives. So, why merciful God lets someone misguide us? Isn't it evil to create Satan?
I would say the answer to your question is a resounding yes. However, if Satan were to exist, we wouldn't be going to hell because of him. We'd be going to hell because your God created hell, created the conditions that would put people in hell, and he created the mechanism, Satan, that would trick, seduce, and guide people into breaking those rules so it could justify throwing souls into hell. It also created a world where, depending on where you're born, you're more or less likely to believe in that particular deity. If believing and worshipping your deity, along with carrying out the specifics of your religion, is required to enter paradise, being born in Saudi Arabia means you're more likely to be a Muslim and meet those conditions. If you're born in North America, you're likely to be a Christian. India? A Hindu. Your God would have set up a failing system where billions of souls are thrown into hell based on a condition none of us chose before birth, which is where we're born. We don't choose where we're born or who our parents are. If your parents are Christian, you're more likely to be exposed to Christianity and be raised in that faith. The same goes for every other religion. In other words, your chances of being thrown into hell are largely dependent on factors that are out of your control.
Bediüzzaman says, the creation of evil is not evil. Choosing the evil is evil. For example, can you say that it's evil to produce knife? You can't say that, right? If you cut an apple with it, it becomes good. And this is the intention of the producer. But if you cut someone and kill him, then it becomes evil. But killing someone with knife is not the intention of the producer. So the knife producer is not responsible for that murder. You choose to kill someone. So evil is not about the producer or creator. It's about user choice.
Another bad religious analogy. Knives aren't conscious, neither is the apple. Cutting an apple with a knife doesn't make the knife good either. It makes it useful. The knife isn't a conscious participant in the cutting of the apple or the person. It's not a moral actor. Let's say that you have an all-powerful, all-knowing human being who wishes to produce a particularly nasty-looking knife. However, he knows that as soon as he produces the knife, someone will buy it and use it to torture and murder their entire family. Would producing that particular knife constitute an immoral action? Yeah, I would consider the knife producer complicit in the crime since they knew the outcome beforehand. The knife producer could have stopped the crime either by not producing the knife or by using his unlimited power to stop the evil act before it took place. Your God did neither. Instead, it supposedly created a conscious knife that not only seeks to harm everyone it comes into contact with, but who also has the power to condemn the people it comes into contact with to eternal torment at the hands of the knife producer. If that's not an evil act, I'm not sure what qualifies as evil.
Now, can we say that the producing of Satan is evil? I don't think so. Yes, a lot of people are going to hell because of him, but maybe it's not the intention of the producer. Maybe it's the consequence of our choices. So, what might be the purpose of the creator to let Satan and the other calamity?
The choices that your creator would have known would take place before they took place? If you know the outcome, how can it not be the intention of the creator? It created literally every aspect of the scenario and set it all into motion. It knew the outcome. It didn't even need to run the experiment because the outcome was certain from the outset. So yes, creating a destructive force that you know will result in billions of souls being tortured is indeed an evil act.
We came to this world to progress, right? We know this fact. There are numerous degrees in the spiritual abilities of human nature, and we are here to show our potential and rise, right?
Not sure how you arrived at the conclusion that it's a fact we came here to progress. A lot of us desire to better ourselves, but those motivations are not shared by everyone. Some people don't want to be here at all. Hell, many of us can't agree on what progression means. As a species, we're constantly arguing about human rights, laws, ethics. It wasn't long ago that we thought it was okay to enslave other people. We thought that enslaving people was a way to progress. Now we realize how wrong we were. We create our own motivations. We do, not your God. Life isn't an elaborate experiment where the winners go to paradise and the losers get treated to a lake of fire.
Think about the angels. Is there anyone who can pray as much as the angels do? No, right? The angels pray all the time.
What about the poor circles?
But even though they pray all the times, do they rise in their position? No, right? The position of angels is stable. Why? Why don't they rise if they pray all the times? Because there are no Satans or calamities for them. They don't have an opponent. They do not struggle against anything. That's why they cannot rise. So the thing that makes humans to rise and have a potential to surpass the angels is actually what? Existence of opponents like illnesses, diseases that we face, and the Satan and the desires of our nafs, etc. So they are not created for us to fall. They are created for us to rise.
I can't believe I'm about to debate the hierarchy of angels right here in 2018. How about you go and ask a cancer patient, someone dying of AIDS, or someone with a distended stomach starving to death, whether they care about rising in the ranks or whether they just want the pain to stop. Do you think they'd trade places with your hypothetical angels? What kind of a sick entity would make someone watch their child die so that it can grant them some sort of cosmic currency? And you might want to tell your fellow Muslims that your supposed angels don't face any struggles.
Now, on top of that, you read about in Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya and all other works, in essence, of tafsir in particular, the war between the angels and the jinn, that there was an actual harb, a war that broke out between them. And the background of that is that we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sent the jinn to this earth, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed them to be settled on this earth. And that's why it explains to us later on why the angels objected initially.
I don't know. A war would definitely be a sort of struggle. In order to have a war, you need opponents.
They are our opponents to raise us. This is the intention of the Creator. What differs a diamond from a coal? How do you distinguish them? You know, they are the same in their solid states. Both of them consist of carbon atoms, right? So what makes them different? The fire makes the difference. The coal burns and the diamond does not. So the diamond proves its potential through its struggle against its opponent. It shows its value through enduring the fire. And coal also shows its worthless and low character through burning in the fire.
Well, no. There are many differences between coal and diamonds. Diamonds require more pressure to form. They generally form anywhere from 120 to 200 kilometers beneath the surface of the earth, while coal does not. Coal is made largely from plant material, but diamonds are not. True, they both contain carbon, but if you try making coal into a diamond, you would get a diamond with a lot of impurities that no one would buy. While a diamond is nicer to look at and can be used in drill bits and speakers, etc., coal accounted for approximately 39% of America's electricity in 2014. While we are trying to move away from dirty power such as coal, there's really no denying that in the past, coal was a major contributing factor to the Industrial Revolution, and in terms of how much impact it's had on human well-being and progress, coal destroys diamonds in terms of worth.
So the fire only reveals their character. So we cannot say that the fire is evil. If you chose to become a coal and burned in the fire, that choice would become evil. Because you could also choose becoming a diamond and not to burn in the fire.
If the coal is conscious and able to suffer, you'd be evil for throwing it into the fire and making it burn forever. Religion makes people defend very bad ideas, inhumane ideas that fly in the face of what we usually regard as being moral. This guy is actually defending the idea that some people deserve to burn for eternity because they're of low character.
If we take shelter by Allah's side when we face with the calamities like earthquakes, diseases, illnesses, etc., and understand that a lot of bounties had been given to me before this event. The surface had not been quaking, for example, or I had been protected against that disease, right? Because we can only realize a bounty when we face with the opposite of it. Is that correct?
It's almost as if God doesn't exist, and it's not a test at all, but just luck of the draw. Sometimes you're the unlucky one, because the universe is indifferent. Sickness isn't a test, it's just a part of the human condition. We've come a long way in combating it. We've extended our life expectancy, eradicated diseases that previously killed us by the thousands, and improved our standard of living significantly. But we did it using science, not religion. We've done it by thinking rationally and doing our best to understand the truth about our reality. I've also never understood this idea that we absolutely need to understand the pain of a disease or of losing a loved one to a natural disaster. Imagine if your God had made a world free of these things. We wouldn't know what we couldn't experience, and I doubt most people would argue that they'd want to see people suffer in this way. What exactly would we be losing? In what way would this make the world a worse place? You could still struggle to achieve things, still strive to be a better, more ethical creature without dying from an incurable disease. You could still try to understand the world around you and learn as much as possible without an earthquake taking a loved one from you. There are many ways to struggle and improve. Why your God would require these sorts of arbitrary lessons in suffering is beyond me. Anyhow, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Take care and cheers!